Sure, you can always shop around for flooring, but in the end, it all leads back to the one place you probably should have started, the experts at Carpet One. Save yourself the time and the hassle and let Carpet One help you find the right product at the right price. Beautifully installed, guaranteed. Come see the One, Carpet One, on the Business Loop in Columbia.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, May the 27th. We've got a very serious and important topic to talk about right now. Central Missouri Stop Human Trafficking Coalition is with us, and Nanette Ward. Good to have you here, Nanette.
Thank you, Paul.
This is something that we have talked about from time to time on Radio Friends. It's something that I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around this, that we have human trafficking in Missouri, in central Missouri.
In Columbia, Jefferson City, Sedalia, Springfield, Kansas City, Lebanon.
It's here.
St.
It's
Joseph.
among us.
It's
and
here.
I find that so difficult to understand. Am I like a lot of people?
Well, so here's one easy way to get your head around it. You know, prostitution has been around for as long as anyone can remember.
The oldest profession in the world.
And within that industry, there are victims who are actually, through force, fraud, and coercion, not their own free will, being controlled by a trafficker within that industry. And so oftentimes purchasers of sex are actually perpetuating that crime of underage girls who are sold within the prostitution industry, who are actually minors, which means they're actually being raped. So they're not in the prostitution industry, but in fact, as minors, they're actually being raped. So we have purchasers of sex that have been around and are in every community, small or large. So with that fact, just knowing that we have victims within the pornography industry, which again has been around, people are familiar with that, whether it's internet or magazines or whatever, they're actually victims within the commercial sex industry. That's not to say all individuals are victims, but we have victims who are sold actually for the age that's older than they really are, and they're actually a minor, or victims who might be an adult, but through force, fraud, and coercion, it could be very violent beatings, manipulation. They're actually victims by traffickers within those commercial sex industries. Mm-hmm. And that is one big area within human trafficking. Labor trafficking, of course, is the other type of exploitation, and that can happen to men, women, and children as well. It could be people with disabilities, or there was a group of men who were being forced to work for someone and taken advantage of because of their mental disability for many years. It could.
So how does the average person, the average Joe, how do you know if you're looking at someone who is being trafficked?
So if something doesn't look right or feel right, it probably isn't. Both from the end of, let's say if you're a parent or a friend and someone's offered something that just sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Whether it's somebody offering you a free trip somewhere or a modeling opportunity or a chance to make a lot of money, it's probably something to be really wary of, and that can be the first foot into what could possibly be trafficking.
So you're telling me that we have that right here in central Missouri,
yes, and
that there are people that are offering youngsters, underage girls mainly?
Yes, mostly girls, but boys and men are trafficked also, but certainly the demand is for girls and women in pornography and in prostitution. So that's where the greatest targeting of victims is among women and girls.
So there may be a flyer that you see or something in a mall that says you can model and make big money.
Right, or it could come across in an email, unsolicited email to a high school student. That's happened knowingly here.
Okay, but that's not to say that every flyer you see talking about a modeling agency is human trafficking.
But what we have to realize is that's a possibility. So if you're not even thinking it's a possibility, you have no sense of danger, you take no caution.
So how do you know? How do you know if there's a legitimate agency?
Sometimes you don't. You have to vet it out, though. And if it does seem too good to be true, if in any way it isolates you from your family or safety, like it's expecting you to go far away, or
that's a red flag.
That's a red flag. But here's a big piece that's contributing to the ease of traffickers to get into the lives of victims, and that's through social media. That's actually had an enormous part to play in the growth of trafficking because of the growth of social media access to younger children, younger and younger. We have high schoolers that we're doing sex trafficking prevention awareness to and talking about the dangers of social media, and they're actually worried for their middle school siblings. Like, we're telling them about the dangers and how you have to be safe.
So what do you look out for on social media?
So on social media, you have access to people that you don't actually know. So we just tell people, we warn them, we say they're actually predators who are using your information on social media and actually researching you and finding out where you live, where you go to school, who your friends are.
That's why it's important not to put too much personal information.
And even if you don't have that, if you even indicate that you're depressed or mad at mom or feel like running away, and those kinds of indicators, somebody can maybe not know where you live yet, but because you've expressed sadness or depression, they will reach out to you as a friend. Maybe they'll say they're an older guy that's just feeling sorry for you, or they may present themselves as a younger person and seem like a peer, showing you compassion and saying, I feel like that too. But then either they will actually trick you, say, well, let's meet up at the mall, and they'll actually be a 50-year-old man who then shows up. Or it could be somebody who is the older guy saying, well, that shouldn't happen to you. I can be your boyfriend, and I'll take you out to McDonald's, and why don't we meet up there? Where do you live? And there are cases where men have traveled, or traffickers have traveled from one state to another because they have been able to find out where that person is that they found on social media.
Okay, is there a website? Because we're almost out of time, Nanette. Is there a website? I know there is, that people can go to read about all of this? So
the FBI has internet safety guidelines. They're posted if you search the FBI internet safety. There are all kinds of wonderful resources out there. The Missouri Internet Crimes Against Children has a task force, and there are resources available there. But certainly if you're in this area, I encourage you to please have some sort of educational face-to-face interaction. The coalition has been very privileged to be throughout the schools in the Missouri area.
So what is your website?
www.stophumantraffickingmo.com, and the email help@stophumantraffickingmo.com.
Okay, and you will go into schools and talk to kids?
Sunday school classes, youth groups. Summer's coming up. We can talk at camps. We've done that.
All right. Nanette Ward, thank you so much for coming by, and keep up the good work that you do.
Thank you,
for
Paul.
all of us in our community.
Be safe, everyone.
All right. Monday, we've got Larry Brown on. He'll share a Memorial Day story. If there's something you would like to hear or see, we would love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu, and have yourself a nice weekend. Bye-bye.